More Eastern Palace shenanigans.
Yep.
And there's a telepathic tip. Apparently Shalashaska has telepathic powers and can tell you exactly what you need to know. How convenient. And those would be... I forget what those things are called. Igor, I think.
Anyway, this door requires the big key to open, so we can't get in there yet. There's the big treasure chest. Requires the big key to open as well.
Basically just a bunch of stuff.
Yep. So we have to keep going in this direction.
Which makes sense. If you can't go one way, it's probably wise to check the other. So, now we got anti-fairies.
This room would normally be dangerous, but if you got the magic powder, this is pretty freaking simple.
Yep, just turn them into You just turn the anti-fairies into fairies. Then you got that guy.
Let the switch come through this door.
You
wonder why we're bothering coming through this door, but there's a key in here that you need to grab.
I believe it's
over there. Take out the Stalfos.
Oh, I kind of remember the days when Stalfos wielded swords. And we've got... Yeah, more of those things.
I need the key to open up this door. I need to run across this long platform.
Which really is just here to sort of extend the area a bit. Since there's nothing on here. There's not even any enemies. And by the way, these anti-fairies are immune to the magic power.
Yeah, until they spring off.
Because the game developers thought ahead. Now you gotta kill this Igor, but the problem is he's usually invulnerable except for the arrows. But you can just hit him with a vase.
Yep, hitting him with a vase works.
Although that really doesn't make any sense. If a sword doesn't work, how does a piece of pottery work? Why is a piece of Hylian pottery better than a sword anyway? What do they make them out of? Freaking steel?
I hate Stalfos sometimes.
Like, I mean, like, isn't
you dick!
Isn't pottery made out of clay?
And they spring off. And
oh, they're still invulnerable, dude.
Are you sure?
Watch it.
Yes, I know.
Anyway, that pot they were guarding provides you with a big key. And yes, annoying beeping when you're low on life is common in The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I'm not worried about dying. I have 2 fairies, remember?
Yep.
And this leads back out to where the telepathic stone is.
Luckily, we'll be able to stop this beeping quickly, because there's actually a hidden fairy fountain in this stage.
Yep.
See those pots there? Those big-ass ones that are sitting in the middle of the room? If you climb up these and jump in, then there's a hidden fairy fountain. Which, by the way, that pot actually really reminds me of the one from Ocarina of Time that's in the Goron's place. The one that you have to throw a bomb into to potentially get a piece of heart.
Oh, and when those things are orange and moving, they're teleporters. When they're gray, they're teleporting destinations.
Yep. In case you're wondering. And you got the bow!
Yeah, well, there's another item you see in just about every Legend of Zelda. And it drops in a couple of very special Stalfos who throw their heads at you.
Yeah. The heads, I believe, are invincible.
Oh, so great, I woke up Igor.
Yeah. The best way to get rid of those is to just exit the room and come back in. Or just hit them and they eventually go away. Anyway, now that you have the bow, you can easily kill Igor. But you don't have to. And now you do in here. Now you enter a dark room with a lot of those things and 2 Igors. And you're going to want to watch out because one will wake up the other one. But they're easy to deal with, and you get a key. And there's actually a special room off to your right, which gets you a ton of money.
And an anti-fairy.
Yeah. So if you need health.
2 anti-fairies.
Yeah, so if you need health, it's pretty easy to get that. And money is very important early on. And we already have enough for the Zora Flippers.
Actually, the Zora Flippers were 500.
Oh, I thought they were 400. Oh, we're almost there. 479.
Yeah, but you need the power glove before you can get them, so...
You got the power glove.
I love the power glove.
It's so bad. Yeah. Anyway, more anti-fairies, and then I think the next room is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a Zelda game. If I'm thinking of the room that I am. Hey, just walk in here. Oh no, it's the next room.
Yeah, it's the next room over. I know what's going
Anyway, lots of Igors. One of those buttons is real and one of them is fake.
Actually, 1 is real and 3 are fake.
Oh yeah.
And the real one is the one at the bottom.
Which makes sense. And then, giant gauntlet of guns! Find the real door! What is this doing here? I love that room so much. It's so random.
Yeah, they just fire balls all over the place.
And there is a red Igor. He is slightly stronger than the green ones.
It'll take 2 shots with the arrows to kill him.
Or 2 vases. Oh, through too early. By the way, interesting little bit of note. In the Game Boy Advance version, your arrows can actually destroy vases. They added in a lot of little tidbits like that. You can also destroy vases with your sword in the GBA version. I'm guessing because they're trying to make it more like the 3D games, because in the 3D games you can destroy pottery with your sword and stuff. And here we have a ton of these guys and 2 red Igors, which means unfortunately you have to wake them both up at the same time. Oh, you can't hurt those ones with pottery. I thought you could. Anyway, these guys really aren't that bad if you plan ahead and just be careful. Now we have enough of the sorcerers. Yeah, they're immune to pottery. Okay.
I believe they have a much larger range.
Anyway, you may have noticed in the previous room there was a strange carpet in front of the door. That's because we've reached the boss, the Armos Knights.
These guys are retardedly easy until you get them down to 1.
The Armos Knights are simple. Just stand in the corner and fire your bow. And if you run out of arrows, you can just hit them with your sword. Anyway, you're probably wondering if they actually attack, and yes, they do.
I'm impressed that one actually managed to get a hit on me.
Anyway, now, once you've gotten them down to 1, this one will become extremely angry and start trying to smash you. He's still ridiculously easy, as you see, but for a first boss, it's not bad. And then you get the Pendant of Courage. You were off by a pixel. But yeah, you get the Pendant of Courage. There are 3 pendants you have to collect, 1 representing courage, wisdom, and power, and I believe they get wisdom and power reversed.
They do.
And then you get to do the epic pose. Which, interestingly enough, they put a similar epic pose in Twilight Princess. Except it's not the same pose, it's just similar in the term that they're both awesome poses. And you gotta hate this guy.
Well, he's just in an annoying position.
Yeah. Anyway, the epic pose I'm referring to, Link, like, does this awesome sword play and then sheathes his sword on his back and it looks really badass. But in this game, he just raises his sword up like a pro. Like a boss. Anyway, now you might remember that Shalashaska told us that he had a special magical artifact if we managed to get the Pendant of Courage, which we did because we were just pro like that. So we were going to talk to him. Oh? Must insert Professor Oak. It's a Hyrule, and then he tells you a story. And you get a boot. Just a boot.
Boot to the head.
A rabid Tasmanian devil to be placed within his trousers.
And there's the first time they drop you the hint about the ice rod. Although I already have it, so
we already got the ice rod. All right then. So now we're supposed to head back to Kakariko Village to get an item. And now we have the Pegasus shoes, which allow us to do this. Yay. We can dash forward with our sword out like a boss.
No, the Pegasus shoes are pretty awesome.
In speedruns, you gotta dash pretty much everywhere you go. Which reminds me, we were thinking about changing this into a speedrun, but we... who wants to do that? In order to do an effective speedrun, you gotta pretty much write down where everything is and how you can get to it as quick as possible.
Technically, I'm trying to do this as a speedrun, but it's not a... you use as many tricks as you can and do the dungeons out of order to pull off...
Oh, this guy's being a douche.
Basically, although I'm trying to do this as fast as I can, I'm still trying to do... I'm going to do the dungeons in the correct order. And I'm not going to do some of the crazy speedrunning tricks like blowing yourself over gaps and stuff.
You know, it's actually going to be kind of fun.
What?
I was actually considering doing you need the... Oh yeah, you need the Pegasus shoes. Pegasus shoes can do that to certain rocks. Which reminds me, Kel, we might actually want to head to the Sanctuary. Because there's an item you can get now.
Well, I'm going to be heading to Kakariko Village, so...
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. Actually, you can take a shortcut through Hyrule Castle. If you go the left path, there's a path that takes you right to Kakariko Village. It doesn't get used very often. And you can also see these weird enemies.
They show up much more often once you kill Egg.
Actually, no, they don't. This is the only time they ever appear. The bomb-throwing variation, anyway, and the ones that are in the grass.
Yeah, I meant the spear-throwing dudes.
Yeah, they primarily show up in Hyrule Castle, and there's the only Red Knight that appears until you've beaten the Dark World.
Because there were 2 Red Knights in front of the...
I mean the one with the trident.
Okay, we're around Sanctuary.
You gotta go up on that hill.
Oh, yeah.
There should be a rock up there that you can break with your dash attack. Anyway, I believe this is a piece of heart.
And it is.
Now, as I seem to recall, there's also something else in the graveyard, but you need the Power Glove to get it. I know that there are 2 things in the graveyard. Actually, no, you can get it now, but it's nothing of interest. Just a couple of treasure chests containing bombs and money. Anyway, back to Kakariko Village. Because now we can get something that's required in order to get to the Desert Palace. By the way, interesting tidbit, if you crash into a bunch of trees, sometimes they disclose random items.
By the way, now that I can run...
We can catch that kid. You want to catch it from going from left to right. Because if you go this way, he'll escape, I think. Oh no. I can't believe you caught me. With your speed, it must be easy to kidnap Zelda. You don't look like such a bad guy, though. With such quick feet, it might be a good idea to run and bash into things. For example, the trees in the village have many useful things hanging in their branches. Well, try it, okay? And there's a tip for him. And he just sort of runs sideways.
And then he's back.
Anyway, if you crash into this tree, you get 5 rupees. After you've beaten Ag and him, it changes to something else.
Something much worse.
Something pretty funny. I believe some of these trees contain a rare item that a lot of people don't even know is in the game. Some of these trees disclose apples, which act as hearts. Anyway, this chicken here, if you sprinkle the magic powder on her, you get something kind of funny. It's kind of a random tip, but who the hell would ever think to do that? Really, I don't understand how you're supposed to figure that out.
By the way, I forgot to go into this.
Yeah, it's just more bombs. Actually, no, I think it's arrows, which we kind of need arrows, so that's actually kind of good. And this lady apparently really likes cuckoos. By the way, a slight change in the GBA version. Just like in the other Zelda games, if you attack the chickens too much, they will attack you. That doesn't exist in this version, though. The GBA version added a lot of stuff to make the game similar to the other Zelda games. In fact, they also added voice clips for Link. Your choice whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Anyway, this is the blacksmith's place.
Yeah, there's also something important here, but we can't get it until we have the magic hammer. Which we won't get till much later. And he also gives you a tip for a side quest, which gets you a really, really nice item later on. But we can't do it yet, because in order to do it, you need to be in Dungeon 4 later on.
Yeah, you can't pound that thing down till...
You get the magic hammer, and you meet the Dwarven Blacksmith.
Who tells you that he can't do anything because his partner is missing?
Also, I would like to mention that is a very odd-looking blacksmith. But I like the unique graphics they have in that house. It's the only place you see them. I guess I'm just so used to seeing Skyrim smithies. Anyway, over here is the Kakariko Library, which we mentioned before. And now that we have the Pegasus shoes, we can actually get something of pretty much importance here. The Book of Medora.
The Book of Medora allows you to translate various ancient languages.
And the gentleman who wins the Rock of Gibraltar!
It's the Rock of Gibraltar.
Oh, alright. Anyway, I think
This bush always contains a bee.
A bee! Tie, Russell! Anyway, We are pretty much out of time, so we're going to call it for this segment. And in the next segment, we will proceed to the Desert Palace.
Actually, I'm going to see if I can get to the desert, but I won't be able to.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys.
Okay, so I'm going to stop right here after I... Wow.
Fairy. I think later on that becomes something much worse. So see you guys next time.